Using Anki, you will almost never have to take notes again. All you have to do is learn to create flashcards during your lecture class. What is up, YouTube? My name is Aidan Helfant. I am a freshman Cornell University student who makes videos on life advice as well as learning and fitness. In this part of my series on Anki, I will go more into depth on why flashcards are so effective for studying. In future parts, I will give actionable tips and tricks that you can use to make the best flashcards possible as you make your way through high school, college, or other parts of your life. In the parts after that, I will talk on how you can actually start to study these flashcards in your day-to-day life. Let's get right into it. The theory of flashcards. Flashcards work off of the idea of spaced repetition. Spaced repetition is the process of repeatedly exposing yourself to information in longer and longer increments to facilitate long-term learning. Studies show that we drastically increase the retention of that information in the long run by doing this. This is precisely why studying techniques like flashcards work so well. Every time you answer a flashcard, it asks you how well you knew the information and decides when to show it again based on the answer. Thus, you're studying on your weaknesses rather than what you already know. Active recall. Active recall is any form of studying that requires effort. This is entirely different from what 80% of high school and college students use in many parts of the world today. In general, the harder it is for us to learn something, the more we facilitate it into long-term memory afterward. This is why passive reading of notes and summaries is so terrible for study. In the moment, it feels as if we're making amazing use of our time. However, in the days and weeks after studying, we rapidly lose retention of everything that we learned. Interleaved practice. Finally, flashcards are excellent for studying because they interleave your practice. Interleaving practice means testing yourself on a range of different topics at once, rather than focusing on just one subject or question. Studies show that studying in this way prepares us better for most tests. In most tests you take, you will be assessed on your knowledge of the topic as a whole, not in isolation. Flashcards naturally study you on tons of different parts of your subjects at once, meaning you will be more prepared when further questions show up on tests. Why Anki? Okay, so clearly flashcards are a fantastic way to study. The question now is why we use Anki instead of the other well-known flashcard softwares like Quizlet and Khan Academy, especially when it costs $25 to get the mobile version. The answer is pretty simple: customizability. Anki provides users with an insane amount of customization options not seen in just other flashcard software. This means you can tailor your Anki software to work in the best way for you. Everyone has different preferences when it comes to learning. Why you will never need to take notes again. The best part about using Anki is that you theoretically will never need to create notes in your classes again. Like most college students, when I came to Cornell, I naturally started to make separate notes for each one of my class lectures. After making these notes, I would almost always use them to turn into flashcards the day afterward. Then I came to a fantastic revelation. Why not just make the flashcards during the lecture? So I took out the intermediary step and just started to make flashcards while the professor was talking. I brought the slides up and could create flashcards on essential terms, definitions, or concepts. In addition, I was able to use any images on the slides for flashcards as well. Let me say that one more time. If you learn to use Anki effectively, you will never have to take notes in college again. The amount of time this has saved me is genuinely insane when you'll need to take notes. Now, there are still some cases in which you will need to take notes for your classes. Flashcards, while a fantastic study tool, cannot be used for all forms of studying. For instance, in chemistry or math classes, they won't be nearly as effective as simply doing practice problems. In my opinion, flashcards work best in content-heavy courses like biology or history. They're also terrific for preparing students to get into med school. With all of your school habits, you need to learn to be flexible. There is no one best study technique, but ones that are better in some situations. Flashcards work in the same way. Congratulations! You made it to the end of part 1 of my series on Anki flashcards. In the next part, we'll go more into depth into making and creating good flashcards during lecture. I will also discuss how you should study your flashcards after creation in the third part of this video series. If you want to see some very related content to this video, I strongly recommend you check out my video book summary on Make It Stick and my video on my top 8 tips for studying in college. As always, I hope you have a fantastic day, and bye-bye!